Isekai is a curious phenomenon, a case study in how shows that are essentially identical try to differentiate themselves. Most often this is done with a gimmicky premise. Isekai, but I'm the bad guy. Isekai, but I have some item I brought from home. Isekai, but it's actually good. But what happens when you have Isekai, but it's a revenge plot? Resolve the revenge plot, and the Isekai part keeps on going. The Rising of the Shield Hero Season 3 is a story of the 4 cardinal heroes going MGTOW, courtesy of a girl that has no right nor reason to be relevant anymore. The 3 Stooges are all missing in action, and there's a big dumb monster set to arrive in a few months' time. So it's up to Naofumi, the Shield Hero, to gather them for the upcoming fight, so they might work together to defeat the Spirit Phoenix. Second cousin to the Spirit Turtle, but without a bangable human counterpart. That plot summary I just gave you was complete bullshit, especially the part about the heroes working together. Shield Hero really loves to harp about that in particular, even though they're supposed to be working separately. Season 1, Episode 1, Scene 3.
It is said that by their very nature, the legendary weapons repel one another. If you try and work together, it will apparently hinder their development.
Here's a more honest plot summary. Despite the impending doom set to befall Melremark, Shield Hero Naofumi takes his time searching for his fellow heroes, instead opting to engage in what the boys would colloquially refer to as side quests. Engaging in slavery like his name's Thomas motherfucking Jefferson, constantly rebuilding his property that keeps getting blown up for no reason, and recruiting a gajillion new characters that will never be given a proper amount of time to endear themselves, many of which are also and still underaged women. Now, some of you might think I exaggerate Naofumi's affinity for little girls, but I urge you to examine the evidence. Not just what I've pointed out in the past, but in this very season. While Naofumi's buying up more slaves, the slave merchant tries to hard sell this tiger boy, telling him about how strong the kid'll be when he grows up. Naofumi walks right past him and takes more of an interest in his sickly sister. He buys both, heals the sister, then he spends the night alone with her, then he shares a bed with her.
I am Master Naofumi Shield.
Bitch, he already has one. The man's wardrobe has more character development than he does. However, that's not to say he has none. A while after they fight this clown girl, she shows up at his village for, who knows what. Point is, she is a certified little girl, and Naofumi tells her to fuck off. Progress. Just ignore the fact she joins up later anyway. But credit where credit is due. When the tiger girl is healed up and the bandages finally come off, she doesn't immediately open her eyes. And of course she wouldn't. Her face is being bathed in blinding light. It's a small detail that I was actively expecting Shield Hero to get wrong as I watched this scene. I'm a little impressed, actually. I am, of course, just kidding. This girl has the superhuman ability to see through her closed eyelids like many other anime characters. I don't know why I expected any better. But anyway, I'm surprised Naofumi doesn't have some sort of romantic relationship by now. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary. He's become very accomplished, doing a lot of good work, and is highly lauded by society. Raphtalia's the obvious choice. I'm pretty sure she's the main reason most people are still watching. But Naofumi straight up daughter zones her.
I've only ever thought of Raphtalia as a daughter of mine.
Unbelievable. Maybe he just has fond memories of the time she got turned into a little kid, and was actually young enough to be his daughter. He sure seemed happy back then. It's not just Raphtalia that gets shot down either. He meets this lady that's very taken with him on account of his insane alcohol tolerance. If you don't remember, Naofumi, being the Shield Hero, has high poison resistance. Despite his strong constitution, however, he is allergic to developed women.
Get off of me!
I refuse to believe this 20-year-old has zero sex drive, but he rejects all the attractive adult women and surrounds himself with young ones. Can you blame me for coming to the conclusion I did? Setting Naofumi's questionable interests aside, Shield Hero is still tone deaf. Here we have an underground tournament where the characters fight to the death. Supposed to be a dire situation, right? This girl from before, who's currently trying to kill Naofumi, she turns into a fucking whale. How do you expect me to take this seriously? This ain't My Hero Academia. You know, now that I think about it, maybe Naofumi's just weirded out by the whole demi-human thing. I could probably get past the animal ears and tail, but the girl that turns into a whale, yeah, no. But the goofy-ass half-humans aren't the only ones responsible for Shield Hero's bipolarism. When Naofumi locates Ren, the sword hero, he has Malty McDumb bitch poisoning his ear like she did with Motoyasu. How is he still this gullible? Am I witnessing mass amnesia? This entire scene turns into a soap opera, with Naofumi on the thought patrol, while Motoyasu, yeah, he's here too, is somehow surprised that the conniving villain from Season 1 betrayed him. big shocker. But this scene does progress the plot, since we are supposed to be gathering the heroes. After Ren and Malty leave, Motoyasu is drowning in despair, but Naofumi saves him with, I'm not even joking, an idol performance by Philo. I'd call Shield Hero tone deaf again, but this does seem like the sort of thing that would cheer up Motoyasu. Like I said way back in Season 1, Motoyasu is a consistent idiot, so Naofumi's solution here checks out. Not only is he consistent, but now he's actually kinda competent. He straight up kills a nigga.
Any last words, assassin? He's fast.
I am so proud of his progress. 1 down, 2 to go. Before we cover Ren though, there's a very important new character that we just have to learn about. This here hippie-looking scientist that has a hard-on for monsters, like Philo.
After all, I have a mutant Filolio here.
Whoa, hey, you can't say that! Offended on his bird lolly's behalf, Naofumi makes this woman a slave out of spite. I am only half joking.
I don't like being lied to, so unfortunately you're going to have to accept a slave crest from me.
Thomas motherfucking Jefferson! Anyway, Ren is going through his villain arc, so Naofumi and friends must fight him. We get a flashback to his previous life, which I don't think we've seen in this series so far. Progress? I think so. Not only does Ren get much needed character development, he also gets the curse sword, like the curse shield Naofumi had. It's a bit late to equalize the heroes, but better late than never. Naofumi, more than anyone, can empathize with how Ren's feeling. He can empathize so much that he delegates a subordinate to fight him instead. Okay, I can't take it anymore. I gotta talk about how utterly unfocused Shield Hero 3 is. Our attention is all over the goddamn place, bouncing around from character to character, never committing to just one person or group for any substantial length of time. Actually, the show's always had this problem. In Season 1, Naofumi dicked around selling plants and bullshit when he was supposed to be getting stronger. In Season 2, Rishia was treated as the protagonist, until the writers lost interest in her halfway through. In Season 3, Naofumi has to haul around this presumably fucking heavy dragon egg in order to, what was the reason they gave in the show?
Master Naofumi is trying to keep the egg warm.
Keep it warm. Uh-huh. There have to be at least 100 better ways to accomplish that without compressing Naofumi's spine. In addition to the dragon egg subplot, we have, in no short order, these 2 white-haired kids, the other white-haired kid, the king's relationship with one of the white-haired kids, the hippie, this quasi-tournament arc, Naofumi's PTSD with the turtle girl, I'm surprised he cares about her given her age, Ren's relationship with Miss Pussy Pink Hair, Rishia's far more interesting relationship with Itsuki, the assassins, Raphtalia's royal bloodline, and then the dragon egg once it hatches. That's a whole thing for a few episodes. This season only lasts for 12. You get to pick one of those things. Maybe juggling 100 subplots works in a light novel format, but all it accomplishes in anime is disorient the casual viewer. And yes, you heard that right. In episode 12, Naofumi's village is attacked by assassins from another country, Raphtalia's home country, where she's the rightful heir to the throne or some bullshit. We get all this exposition right as the season is ending. Why? If this conflict is going to be the plot of Season 4, then this episode belongs in Season 4. Why is it here? The same thing happened in Season 1 with that island and those other heroes. Why does Shield Hero split its own arcs like this? Now, setting my bitching aside, this scene kinda slaps. Take a listen.
They tried to kill Raftalia. They gravely wounded one of my citizens. They waged war on my lands. They sent assassins before even sending messengers. They see no need for international formalities. We're gonna go and have a little chat with them. And if that doesn't work, I will crush Kutenlo!
I fuck with this energy now for me. Now that's what I want to see. But problem, I don't fuck with the music. I put better music in just now, but in the show, the BGM is a whole lot of nothing. The soundtrack has never been pronounced in Shield Hero. I never catch myself thinking, ooh, I want to go find whatever that track was. I guess that means it isn't noticeably bad either, but man, if you replaced it with Assassin's Creed 2 music, this show would be like 20 times more watchable. But hey, speaking of unfocused, we still have one missing hero. They eventually find Itsuki, the bow hero. He's been fighting in arenas for cash, dressed up as Ezio Auditore. You see what I mean? We are medieval Europe up in this bitch. The music should be good, but instead of good tunes, Itsuki is listening to Malty, who is in his ear now as well. Can you get a new bad guy? I want to go back to the book nerd. Naofumi, by request, sets up Rishia against him for the next match. Then, instead of fighting, Itsuki shouts at Naofumi for several minutes about justice or some crap until Rishia reminds him she exists.
I'd almost forgotten you were here, Rishia.
Yeah, me too. Despite all my complaining so far, this fight is actually sorta good. They still yell out their attack names and all the rest of the silly tropes, but there's more to it. These two characters have history, and this fight serves not only the main plot, but to resolve the personal conflict between these two. I was worried that Naofumi might step in and ruin it, and he certainly tries, but thankfully Rishia refuses his help, and pulls it off alone. She's doing a great job of reminding everyone why she was the best character last season. You can show me dumbass cartoon animals rearranging the topography, and it will always fall flat, unable to be taken seriously no matter how much Shield Hero wants it to be. Good fights aren't necessarily about the spectacle, but concern themselves more with the personal, the intimate, matters that everyday people might relate to, and this duel between Itsuki and Rishia touches up on that. In fact, I dare say Rishia and Itsuki's relationship is the most interesting thing to come out of Season 3, and I really would have liked to see more of it. But with that, I have little left to say about this season. The Rising of the Shield Hero is an unremarkable revenge story that ended on episode 21, and everything after that has been an unremarkable isekai. I've tried my best to find things I like, but overall this show is still bad. So basically what I'm trying to say is, just make Rishia the main character. She's so much better than Naofumi.